Welcome back to the first one up. I am your host, Bosco Shima, and today we have a very special episode for you guys, a special guest on this channel today. We have the 49th Alderwoman of Chicago, Illinois. She's in charge of the North Side and the West Ridge. So let's go on and talk to her at this back to school bash she's through. Let's go talk to her. Right now we're gonna go find the alderman and talk to her. Hello. Hi.
Maria.
Pleasure to meet you, Bosco.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much for letting us come here and talk to you.
Thank you for coming out.
Yeah. So today we kind of just want to walk through your life, how you've come to be here, struggles, your story, and the community that you're leading, right?
So I have like conflict resolution, mediation was something I was really into in school and as a kid, and so it's what I studied in college. I thought I'd go work for some NGO. I did want some work experience after I graduated, and so I signed up for AmeriCorps, our national service program, and I applied for jobs in a couple cities, and Chicago was one of them. And so I got a job with this great nonprofit organization called the Youth Conservation Corps. They're based out of Waukegan. So that's what brought me to Illinois in 2003. And after living so close to Chicago, but not being in Chicago, right? Because you know how people from not Chicago, they're either like, oh, I'm from Chicago.
Bob, you're not right.
And even the job, they're like, oh yeah, the job's in Chicago. I'm like, this job's not Chicago. So I'm like, I need to live in Chicago.
Of course.
So in 2004, I moved to Rogers Park. I loved it here. It was immediately just like a welcoming, wonderful, like walkable, diverse community.
But you didn't know you were going to end up like leading a community?
No, not at all, right?
Wow.
So like I never planned on running for office. I always knew I wanted to work in public service.
Public service, okay, got it.
But to me, that was always like a nonprofit or maybe working for the government.
And do you know why you had that goal or dream to just do like public service?
My parents work in public service. So like my dad worked for the railroad for 34 years as a signalman. My mom spent like couple different jobs, but 20 years at the state of Ohio. They're just like, you know, I want to like help people. I want our world to be a better place.
That's amazing.
And I feel like that's what my calling is. So like that's always been a direction.
So your parents play a big part?
Yeah, absolutely. And encouraging me to do that, right? Like I didn't feel like I needed to go and like make a ton of money.
Right.
Because we were poor anyway. So like what was it? You know. Rogers Park is a fantastic place. So I ended up kind of, you know, getting settled here, working, and I ended up working, helping to start a small nonprofit that focused on community voice in budgets. So the Participatory Budgeting Project, which is a mouthful. Yeah. But like the idea that we live here and we pay taxes, so we should have decision-making power in how our money's spent.
Yes.
So I did that work, organizing with communities and consulting with local governments for about a decade.
Of course. I can imagine it was
doing that work. It was fun.
It was fun?
It was fun. I got to work with a lot of different older people here in Chicago, including my predecessor. And I worked throughout the country. So, you know, Denver, New York, Oakland, Detroit, Jackson, Mississippi, Greensboro, North Carolina. And so I got really a good feel for government. And then people started telling me, Maria, you should run. You should run. You should run. This was the only office I considered. And with the support of my community, kind of telling me they'd be there for me, I decided to try it out, and here I am.
Here we go. Well, that's amazing. What's one like piece of advice you have for somebody also trying to do public service, but they don't know like where to go, which way to go? What would that be?
Start at home.
Start at home. What does that mean?
So like, you know, I thought I was going to do some NGO thing, right?
Yes.
Well, living here in Rogers Park in 2008, when the housing market collapsed, my neighbors and we were in a 39-unit condo building, and it was only half sold. The developer took our money and left the country. Wow. So that was my shift from international to local, because it was necessity, right? Like we were at risk of losing our home and our housing. The building wasn't finished. City wanted to shut off our utilities. It was bad. And a lot of people, I realized, were in that same position, right? There was a huge systemic failure, and the people who were most impacted were just like us, regular people in the neighborhood. So I started organizing with my neighbors in my building and then on my block. And that's how I really got into this community. I ended up helping out with, you see, we got Gale School over here. We can walk a little bit. So Gale, So over here, that's Gale Elementary School. 2 or 3 years ago, we celebrated their centennial, 100 years, right? Wow. This year, we're celebrating 100 years of Sullivan High School.
Sullivan High School, you were a part of that too as well?
No, it's our neighborhood, right? So like, there are institutions and legacies and community in these spaces, and in getting to know my neighbors, I made a big shift. Instead of thinking about my purpose being in like world conflict resolution, I was like, I can do things right here. And that's my advice to people. No matter where you think you might go, you're never going to go wrong by like organizing your building, organizing your block, getting to know your elected official, showing up to ward night, sending an email, seeing and knowing what they're doing, sign up for their newsletter. Like, look out and make sure that those people that you elected, that they're doing what they're supposed to do for you. And you see all this?
Yes.
A lot of these are community organizations, these are schools, these are nonprofits, these are volunteers out here. And they're people who just care about the community.
And they want to help out.
And they just want to help. And it feels good. And they're adding to our community safety, our community wellness. And we're all in doing this. Look at the experience we're creating for the kids.
This is amazing, honestly. I can say, because I also am an immigrant. So coming here and also, utilizing the power of unity, community, playing with, making friends, connections, everything, honestly. What you guys are doing here is absolutely amazing. Any obstacles?
I mean, it's hard, right? Like, it was hard. When I ran the first time, I ran against the 28-year incumbent. So he'd been elected 7 times. We don't have term limits in Illinois, so electeds, if they're popular, they can stay in for a while, and then they can become powerful, and it can be hard to get change, right? And so he'd been in for a long time. He outspent me like 8-1. Right? 8 times more money than I had. Everybody knew his name because he's the incumbent.
Of course.
And so it was a lot of effort to get my name out there, a lot of just groundwork, door knocking, footwork, and that was just winning. Governing is also challenging, so making sure we have good team members, and part of my commitment to myself and our community was that I wasn't going to be the same type of alder person. Like, he wasn't bad, but Chicago alder people have a reputation, right? A reputation for corruption, a reputation for not being the leaders of change, right?
Not being there for the community.
And not being there. And so I'm like, if I'm going to do this job, I'm going to do it differently so that these kids see what type of alder person, so that they can be the alder person, because I'm not going to be here for 28 years, right?
Oh, we wish you are. No, like, honestly, I can so much admire what you've done, and I just seen the kids. We were walking there getting ready to come here, and the kids are just so happy, full of joy, parents full of joy. What does that bring to you? Is this like the fulfillment that you get out of...
Absolutely, it feels good, right? It's like, it feels good. Like, I look forward to this event, and like my team, it's hard work, right? You talk to Shanika, it's hard work. We worked all week. We had one other community event earlier this week. We had 2 after-hours community meetings this week, and we still had our regular work day, right? But that's the service part. It's like, we're doing these things because it's what we want to contribute to our neighborhood and our city.
Of course.
And yeah, it feels good. Now, I will be honest with you.
Of course.
I'm gonna walk around here, and at 2 o'clock when we wrap up, I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna walk my dogs, and I'm gonna take a big nap. Big nap.
Well deserved. I think we have to understand also that you're cooling down and really just taking a deep breath, and because you can't just work, you know? Because you're doing amazing. So another question I have for you was, what do you suggest the younger generation, because we're growing up, right? Like, for example, me, advice you have for me, like, what can I do to impact my community? Right?
You guys are going to know best, and it's local, right? I'll give you an example. It was a couple months back in a housing committee meeting at City Council. There were some really cool community projects. We were asked to vote on giving some public land to some community projects. It's one of the things we can do if it's a city-owned lot. And there were 3 projects that just stuck with me so much that I met the people afterwards, and we exchanged info, and I actually went to somebody's block party. So one, it was a older pair of sisters. Their block in Inglewood, buildings run down, things abandoned, bad landlords, right? People feeling like their neighborhood was like not getting attention, and when you feel bad about your neighborhood, sometimes you don't do good in your neighborhood, right? And they decided a couple decades ago that they were going to change that and do it differently. So they started saving the money, and they bought a building.
Wow.
And they fixed it up, and they rented
That's amazing.
it. And then they bought another building. And so when they came to us, they got a couple city lots, and they were making a garden. And they invited me to their block party. There were a couple young men, grew up on their block, different neighborhood, and they felt like there was no like beautiful outdoor space, and there were lots of vacant lots, so they just started gardening in a lot.
Wow.
They have taught themselves how to garden. They use YouTube videos, and now they're starting a city orchard. Yeah, right?
That's amazing.
They're planting fruit trees. So like, it's easy to see the problems, right? I guess is my point. Whether you're walking on the train and like, oh man, right? Or oh, why is this lot so dirty? Or oh, why are there so many vacant? Like whatever it is, why are there potholes? Whatever the thing is, when you're out and about in your city, you see the thing. And I think sometimes people don't understand that you could be a part of the solution. Just because you don't have the money to like buy it doesn't mean you don't have the power to be part of improving it or fixing it. And so find that local organization, find that block club, and just go meet your neighbors. There's power in those numbers.
Power in numbers. So would you say that it's everything with the connections and outreach and, you know, going after it? Like, we have so many information as teens, and you know, you just go access it, right?
And it can be intimidating.
Right, for sure. I think it's scary.
Yeah, and like sometimes I think there's this thing where we don't know where to start. Anywhere you start. So we have a street named after a philosopher, Goethe. If you ever see Goethe, not here,
not here.
It's downtown. It's Goethe, so Goethe. And he's attributed with this saying, that's one of my favorites. And it goes a little something like, it's like whatever you believe you can do or think you can do, begin it. Because action has power, grace, and magic in it.
Amen. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Wow.
So just do something, right? Just do it.
Wow. Just go for it. You think it, action, just go for it.
Yeah. And the only thing I would say is, most things worth doing you can't do by yourself. So you got an idea that you want to do it, tell a friend and make that friend do it with you.
Wow. And that's how you became to do all this connections and bringing people together.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for me as somebody building a brand? Because this is all for the younger generation.
Yeah.
So just realize that you can do anything you put your mind to, and also there's people also doing like things at a bigger level, like, you know, helping the community, leading the community. What would you say to us?
Just keep connecting people, right? Like I'm thinking, like I'm running for election for my third term now.
Of course.
And I told you guys I wasn't going to be here for 28 years. When I first started, I've always told people I'll do 3 terms, 4 terms tops. And then I'm going to make space for somebody new. So as I go into this third term, I'm thinking about how can I make space for younger people. So I'll tell you directly, if you know people who are interested in politics, if they want to know what it's about, especially a lot of our immigrant and refugee population, right? Like, I feel like, because how old are you?
Right now I'm 19, man.
Right?
Yes.
So like, I feel like there's a lot of folks like your age and in their 20s who are like, you've grown up here, and like, now you're like, okay, like this is my place, right? Like this is my home, and how do I get involved? And politics is one of those things that can feel like, right? Like,
controversial.
But it's necessary. Like we need people in local office. And if you guys don't do it, who's going to do it?
Who's going to do it, yes.
Right? So like right now, as I'm working on this campaign, I'm opening, like if people are interested, if they want to even know anything what it's about, they don't have to live in the 49th Ward. Come and volunteer with me, right? We're going to teach people. And like that's what I'm going to spend my time doing. So I'd say find people that are also willing to teach and to share.
Of course. Just like you have.
Yeah, and learn it. Yeah.
No, thank you. We would love to be a part of that. So what's the campaign? Like how would you want us to help?
Yeah, so folks can follow Maria for 49.
Of course.
.org is the website. You can find info there. But if people are really interested in learning the things, they can sign up to volunteer. And we're kind of rolling out a little bit of a fellowship program to see, like, you know, come learn about campaign finance. Come learn about how do you even get on the ballot.
Exactly.
You know, come learn about strategy, how to use the tools that are necessary, like the NGP van. So I'm trying to open up our space for that. Because if I don't start, and this goes for people who are in the older space, if we don't actually intentionally work to connect and open up our space and to train people, how are they supposed to know? Like my parents' generation, the boomers. So I'm an elder millennial. Older millennial, 1981. Right? But so like my older siblings are Gen X, and then my parents are boomers. My parents' generation, they all they do so much. and they've built so much,
Right.
and they've endured, and like they're inspiring, and in a lot of ways, they haven't behind you.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
They haven't. Sometimes it's common. I hear them ask, "We expect you kids to come and do this, right?" Whether it's taking over the family reunion or solving the country's problems, right? Like my mom, going back to that thing, my mom being like, when I was in 8th grade, great, you're going to be the next Kofi Annan, because like we need something. Like you kids will fix it is like something I heard growing up a lot. But there wasn't a lot of like mentorship or spaces, right? Because they were so good at doing the things. And I think that's one of the things my generation's got to do a little differently, right? Is like really like grabbing you guys. We're like, no, for real, come here, please learn this. Yeah.
That's actually another topic I want to jump into, mentorship.
Yeah.
I think the importance of mentorship is.
I mean, there's this piece of, if you don't know something exists, how can you aspire to it? And I think that's where the core of mentorship is. It's not all about training somebody to do your job, right? Or training somebody to be just like you. I think there's a big part of it that's just opening, drawing back the curtain so it's not a mystery, right? Helping someone see the reality so they can determine for themselves if that's something that they're interested in. Because if you don't even know it exists, how can you make that decision, right? And then there is that piece of every generation and every person, we all face different challenges. Like your generations, we're living in this together, but it's different from your experience than it is going to be from my experience. And I think good mentorship also looks like a co-learning piece, right? So through working with younger people, I'm learning. Right? Like I might think, oh, this is easy and this is how you do this and this is how we do this campaign thing. But working with younger people helped me to understand, well, what am I missing and what can I learn and how are people doing this here? So I think there's that piece of mentorship that's also about a peer learning environment that sometimes people don't, I think they miss.
Okay, I think that's amazing, because I think I've come, like, I am where I am because of my mentors telling me to, you know, get open about this or read these books or like just experience life or like take these actions, right? I think that's important. And like you've achieved this so much because I think you have people like your mom, your father telling you we need this person. And that, I think that's kind of mentorship as well. Parents, the number one mentors in the world. And can you tell me about the mindset?
Sure.
The mindset of, you know, what you've achieved and like how you, because I think there's a lot of trials and tribulations, especially being a, you know, a woman and going through politics. Can you tell me about that?
Sure. We're all living in like, I think, what did Vice President Kamala Harris said? Like, we didn't just fall out of the coconut tree. Right? No, you don't know that one?
I don't know that one.
So like, she was answering, it was kind of like this thing of, we exist in the context of everything around us. So I live here, you live here, we're in the United States of America, a country whose founding was kind of rooted in genocide and enslavement, right? And with systemic structures built to privilege a certain class of people, right? Like, and a certain gender of people, and we're at 250 years now, and we've made the people of this nation, as we've changed and fought and won power, we've changed, right? Who we want the country to be for. And we're at the crux of another big fight for this, right? Of who is this country for, whose country is it, and how do we show up and take power? That context is anti-Black, that context is anti-immigrant, that context is anti-woman, it's anti-LGBTQ, right? Like, it's anti-young people. Like, there's a lot of systemic pieces there where our structures, even if not the person you're dealing with, the structures and the barriers are there and they're real. Raising money as a woman and as a Black woman, right, was harder, right, than it would have been for somebody with a different experience. This morning, one of the things I dealt with, we had a gentleman out here who'd had a little bit to drink, and you know, we're trying to do this thing for the kids, and I say hi, and here, shake my hand. You shook hands, and his immediate thing is, you shake hands like a man. Let me tell you how to shake hands like a woman. And I'm just like, I'm just trying to live here,
I'm trying to do this for the community.
I was like, hey, it's okay. And he's like, this is the problem. Too many women taking, and I was like, You know, so like there are things ingrained and you never know what you're going to encounter. And also we're constantly pushing, right? Not just to protect ourselves, but to make space and room for everybody else behind us. But I think that's beautiful, right? But the barriers are there, but you can't focus on them too much. You just break them.
How do you handle that? How do you, like, for example, that's very disrespectful and very, I'm sorry you had to deal with that, but how did you handle that? How did you
calmly and you know, try to appeal, like, hey, look, you know what, we're just out here for fun. Can I get you some food? You know, what's your name? I'm good at de-escalating, which is where my roots come from. I'm good at de-escalating conflict. He went on. He's popped around here and there, but so that's another, like, we'll use that. It's not our jobs to change people's minds. It's not your job to change somebody's mind. Everybody is responsible for that. But sometimes we can, through our own behavior, we can inspire people to make those changes for themselves.
I love that.
That's one way to look at it.
Because I think sometimes we struggle with trying to put our ideals into some other people, but that's not our job. Our job is to lead a life of integrity and hope they get inspired to do the same.
Yeah, because they can do it, and you don't know their story, right? Like, I don't know, he probably had a hard week, right? So I'm not trying to judge him like that, but I also don't need a man to tell me how to shake hands. I was like,
why would you?
And I was like, how do you know? He went on to tell me all these things about what women should do. And so I was like, how do you know so much about women, sir? And he's like, I grew up with women. I was like, well, I am a woman, so I don't. Yeah. Wow,
that's amazing. So what things are you guys incorporating in the community for the younger generation?
Sure.
Like things you established.
I'll say probably not a lot. A lot of our focus through my office is the school-age children tend to be like a big piece, right? So from like pre-K through high school. I do have a youth leadership council, so for high school age. So we've done this for a couple of years, and that we try to provide some opportunity for, you know, those kids who might want to know a little bit more about how a government office works.
For sure.
To have that time, we meet monthly, to have that time in FaceTime with my staff and myself, right? Hopefully, and like we've had great conversations. So even though it's small, it's exposure and giving those leadership opportunities to younger people. But also, I do it because I want to know what their experience is. Those are our big things, right? So like the school outreach and promotion, supporting the organizations that work with youth, right? So our partner here, C24/7, Father's Arms Ministries, they do a lot of youth work and outreach. And then, our youth leadership council.
Wow, so, that's amazing.
Yeah, so I'm always open to ideas.
No, for sure. I think I would love to work with you. Do you know Chicago Math and Science Academy?
Yes.
Did you guys work with them?
Yeah,
I think I signed up to join the program, but I think it was too late.
Okay.
But I'm a fan of politics because I also want to. My country's not in the best shape that it can be at the moment.
Where's your
Tanzania?
Okay.
That's where I was born. It's not in the best, right? So I always want to do something to help out. But I'm also scared of politics, right? So a question for you is that what would you say for someone who's scared to get into politics but want to inflict change?
I'm glad you mentioned it because I feel like, especially for a lot of our refugee community, that's a very common experience, right? Like people had to leave, right? People had to flee their homes, and here in Rogers Park, that's the experience of a lot of families, right? For generations, right? And so politics tends to be hands off. I'd say you don't have to be scared of politics. It's not easy, but it's necessary. Like people, I think of politics as like just electoral stuff, but you really, right here in the back. But you really, like, this is how our government works. Like, these are how decisions are made about what your schools are like, what our transportation, what your environmental issues are. Us, like, it's not just about electing someone and then saying, okay, cool, they're going to figure it out. Like, politics is literally it's community engagement. It's meeting in a tenants meeting in your apartment building. Like, that's politics. And I'd say if we can expand our mind of that, we can't, as people, be afraid of opportunities to take power, because there are some people who feel like they're entitled to power.
Right.
And they're holding on to all of it, and they think they own it. And the fact that a lot of good people think, oh no, that's not me.
Right. I sort of want to go a shot for that.
Yeah, right? It's like, you know, a lot of people are like, I'm not in this for my own agenda. Like, I'm not trying to control everything. Like, that doesn't appeal. But the reason we think that that's all it is because of the people who are there. That's what we've seen, right?
Okay, I never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
I never thought about it.
Those are the examples we have.
Examples that we have, so we look up to.
Yeah.
So what would you say determines or defines a good leader?
Oh, I think that's broad. I think that's broad. That could be a lot of things. Things that I appreciate in leaders, like that I work with and that I look at. I really appreciate people who take the time to listen. I really appreciate people who can stay humble. And I appreciate folks who understand that, like, you never stop learning, right? Like, I might have a strong opinion about something that I think is very important or a way that I think something should be done, but I really try to, like, I think of it as making space for like a leader-full environment. Our communities don't survive on one leader, right? We need multiple leaders, and I think those are some other things I look at. So yeah, the humility, the openness to learning, the being a good listener, and the, you know, loving people. Like, you got to actually love your community.
Of course.
Yeah.
And this happens every summer, back school.
So we do it every year.
Wow, that's amazing.
And here, what I'll say is, this isn't unique to us. Like, almost every alderman does one.
Okay.
Right? So it's like a thing that most aldermen do. And so we've got folks like from our elementary schools, right? Like, back to school, we focus the people out here on school things. We've got Jordan, we've got Newfield over here.
Well, I went here. This is my school.
Yeah, Newfield's so great, right?
They're
we have really great schools in Rogers Park. I know, like, they might not always be like the top ranked, but they're really good schools. We've got great staff. One of the benefits here, we've got a lot of great public health partners. So Tapestry 360, right? We've got Access Health, we've got Trilogy, we've got Thresholds. So we have Northside Community Resources is one of our strongest partners. They do so much for the community. So from housing to financial support, fair housing testing, support for immigrants, and legal access.
That's amazing.
We called the colleges, right? Because like, hey, like, because Loyola is a big part of our community. Northwestern's right over there in Evanston. But as we're thinking about education, right, we want everybody, these kids, to start getting exposure soon to all the options that are available to them. Another big thing, you'll see Indo-American Center. So we have a lot of great social service organizations that are right here in our greater Rogers Park area. But people don't always know they exist. So when we have the opportunity where we know we're going to have a lot of people come to us, we bring them out. So then people will be like, oh, I didn't know.
I don't know.
Board of Elections. They're doing voter registration.
That's amazing.
Mary Crane. They've got Head Start.
It's amazing.
Yeah, you want to come and help? We need more volunteers.
Yeah, of course. You check them out. You might be interested.
We'll check you out.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Kenny. Obviously, our other elected partners. So our State Rep Kelly Cassidy's office. This
Thank
is
you so much, sir.
More healthcare office.
Thank you. We're doing good. Thank you so much for everything.
HIV care, HIV and AIDS care, really big deal. Our area, we have a fairly high percentage of people who are living with HIV and AIDS, and the federal government funding cuts has put a lot of strain, right?
Yeah,
so the education component about making sure people stay connected to their care while it's going away is very important. So thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So one of the best parts of having a wonderful community, and I've been in here for 7 years now, is people have babies and then you watch all the babies and you watch them grow up.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and that's funny, right? Because then it's like, oh, wait a minute. I'm like, who are you?
Who are you?
Like, yeah.
This is so amazing, honestly.
But yeah, and then like, people come out and support.
To be honest, you don't see this in Chicago always. Like community gathering. I think people always say Chicago is violent and there's no community, but like, this really truly shows.
So this is all of this is on the government side and not the political side, which does stay separate. When we have to be in the office, you have to do things a little separate.
Oh, okay, wow, that's amazing. I just want to again, this is amazing, and to bring all these partnerships together. Anyway, this was all outreach and reaching out to them, and wow.
Yeah.
Nah, this
and that's another thing. Is it gets better every year because it's cumulative, right?
Of course, yes.
We don't have to start fresh every year.
It's a partnership.
Yeah, it's oh great, we did this year. So last year was our first year doing this with Seed 24/7. We've done it on our own before and had something similar, but my budget has its limits.
Yes, of course.
So Seed 24/7's been so great because whereas we could get the partners out here and I could buy the food,
of course,
but they do the bouncy houses, and together we get even more supplies, right? Because I buy backpacks, we get donations, they get donations, they buy supplies, and we do it together. And now we have a bigger thing. So last year was the first year together. This second year, I feel like things have gone very smoothly. And just imagine what we'll do next year.
Amazing, more thing. And I honestly hope to be a part of something next year as well.
Yeah.
Come here, bring some more youth here. You know,
absolutely.
That'd be amazing. So another selfish thing I had to ask. Entrepreneurship, right? I think some kids want to get into entrepreneurship, and such as myself, entrepreneurship, right?
Yeah.
I love entrepreneurship. I love people starting your own business, and having the opportunity to do that, or the systems that are going to help young generation start businesses.
Yeah.
So, anything you're doing in that field?
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you. Anything you guys are doing, or anything you think we should do?
So one of the best parts of Rogers Park and the 49th Ward are actually our small businesses, right?
Okay, yes.
So we've got from Howard Street to Jarvis to Morse to Devon to Clark to
yes.
We've got a lot of small businesses, and a lot of them are locally owned. A lot of them are immigrant owned. So supporting our small businesses is actually a big part of my job. So we do a lot of business outreach to existing businesses, and one of our other key partners is the Rogers Park Business Alliance. The Rogers Park Business Alliance, so they're kind of our local chamber, right? So they manage a lot of the commercial areas and help get funding for some of the festivals. So what is it? Not next weekend. Next weekend is Chalk Howard Street. You gotta come out. You gotta come out.
I haven't heard about that.
Okay, so Chalk Howard Street funding fell through last year.
Right.
Here. You can actually see this banner, the black and yellow one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So they started this 5 years ago, so it's still growing. But come out here, it's the 3D chalk art.
Of course. Oh, that sounds amazing.
They get 3D chalk artists,
and then they do
it's
all over.
Yeah, basically from the train to the park, about here, and a little bit on Marshfield. They get vendors, small businesses, crafts, right? So businesses and food vendors, and then the artists are out there. And then there's spaces for kids and families to do their own chalk art. But so they do Chalk Howard Street. So trying to bring attention to spaces so that we can also support businesses. The other piece that's just a strictly government side thing is we help people deal with the city.
Of course.
Running a small business is hard. Figuring out how to start it, what are the licenses that you need,
yes.
How do you pass your inspections,
it's a pain.
Right? So we do that, and we provide a lot of support for people who are in that space. I'm excited. We've had a lot of great new businesses open.
Amazing.
We got a lot on Morse. When we've got a new development coming in, so economic development more broadly is a big piece. So right on the corner of Paulina and Howard here, an 80 unit, 2 building.
That's
there
amazing.
80 unit, 2 building, affordable housing.
Wow.
So brand new housing. We're gonna have commercial ground floor.
Wow, that's amazing.
So right now, the currency exchange on the corner, they've relocated to by the train, but they're gonna come back into a big new space. We're trying to get a little market there, right?
Really, rebuild the city.
Yeah, and it's what do people need? So we need more family-sized housing,
of course,
right?
For sure.
A lot of our apartments are kind of being purchased right now and made into smaller. So trying to build some units so people can live and be there longer is important, and making sure if it's affordable. So it'll be a 100% affordable building, but kind of mixed income with a commercial. So we're breaking ground this fall on the first part, which will tear down the 1-story commercial building and build a brand new one with 60 units. And then around on Paulina, the old storage building.
Yes.
So we're preserving that.
Okay.
So we got some like preservation credits. It's a historic building. It's significant.
Of course, yes.
And so, but there's going to be 20 units of housing in there.
Wow.
So that'll be part 2 of the
And
project.
you're a part of all that.
Yeah, so it took us 4 years to get the funding. Like, oh yes. What you? Hey.
Good to see you.
Hey.
This is my brother.
Thank you. Hey. Hey.
This is my older man.
What'd you give me here?
Oh, just a basic t-shirt.
You know what? It looks good on me. Green looks good on me.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, and hi. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
She's the commander-in-chief of this area.
Next weekend is Chalk Howard Street, so we'll be out here next weekend too.
Thank you. I'll get one for her. Yes, thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you so much. God bless you. Yeah, that's amazing. I think that the love that they've shown you is just, it makes, you're doing a wonderful job.
Yeah.
Like, you're amazing. Like, this is amazing.
I love our people. I love our community.
Yeah.
Oh yes, good. Thank you. And I was wrong. Next weekend's the Glenwood Avenue Arts Fest. You got to come out to that.
What is that?
That's on Morris and Glenwood. You got to come out.
Okay, I'll come out.
And the weekend after that is Chalk Howard Street.
If I'm not gone for school, I'll come out. But what was I going to say? So, for example, if I want to start a business, do I come to your office? And
yeah, you can absolutely start with our office. And if you know what kind of business, sometimes it's just like, hey, I think we end up dealing with a lot of people who have the retail level business, whether it's a restaurant or a bar or a salon or like a store, because that's where more of the zoning permitting stuff comes in. But yeah, we're a great place to start. I think one of the things we help people with the most is finding a spot. So usually it's somebody who's like, I have a business, or we actually just found a great spot for like a Four Sons. They used to have a spot in Evanston. They did fresh juices, like health foods.
Of course.
And they also do Creole food. Okay. They're opening a little spot. It's going to be over on Glenwood, just north of Morse. But they've been working out of the Wild Onion, the grocery store on Clark Street.
I know that.
They're going to keep serving. They've got their food there.
That's amazing.
But they also want their own retail spot, right? And so
You've been going back and forth with them.
Yeah, so I met with Gabi and Byron, and we went, and I'm like, let's just walk around, right? And we went, and I'm like, you know what? This is a good space, and I get to connect them with the landlord. They had a good conversation, and I think it's gonna work out. They're finalizing their details, so helping to get people in place.
That's amazing.
Is something that we do as well.
I think I'm gonna reach out to you because I have a lot of plans. I want to do things. I want real estate. I'm really big in real estate.
Okay, all right.
So that's amazing. But
all right, you might be able to teach me some things.
No, for sure. I know, but you taught me a lot, and I want to again say thank you for letting us come here, spend a little time with you, and
I hope you go talk to people.
No, I'm gonna go talk to people, of course, but I just want to say thank you, and then we're gonna do a little I think I told Miss Shanika a little quick for our other social media. But I would just say thank you so much. If there's one piece of advice that you leave to the younger generation, what would it be?
Keep doing what you're doing, and don't wait around for the older generation to do it for you. It may never happen.
Wow. Well, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure, Miss Hadden.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for everything you're doing.
Thanks for coming out.
Thank you.